Hello everybody, Sir Leon here and welcome back to another mathematics video. In this video we will be continuing our journey with measurement. Specifically today we will be looking at the beautiful concept of area. And at the end of this video you should be able to do two things. One, you should be able to calculate the area of regular shapes, and two, you should be able to calculate the area of composite shapes. So first of all, what is area? Now area is related to two-dimensional shapes, and it is the amount of space that these two-dimensional shapes take up. So you have a flat surface, area is the amount of space that this flat surface takes up. So with that being said, let's head into how to calculate the area of some simple shapes that we already know. So firstly, let's look at this shape, the square. So we know the properties of the square, one major property being that all of the sides in the square are equal. So to find the area of the square, all we need is one side. And then we can use this formula that says area is equal to L square, or L multiplied by L, because that's what the square is saying, length multiplied by length, or some resources may have it S square, S being the side. Doesn't matter, all you're doing is you're multiplying the side by itself. So let's say we are given this shape and one of the side is measured 3 cm. We were asked to calculate the area of this square. So the area of this square would simply be 3 cm multiplied by 3 cm. So the area would be 3 times 3 is 9. Cm times cm would give us cm squared. So the area of this squared with side being 3 cm would be 9 cm squared. Now let's look at the area of the rectangle. So for the rectangle, we know the opposite sides are equal. So let's say we were given this side as 5 cm, and we are also given this side as 2 cm. So to find the area of this rectangle, the formula is area is equal to length multiplied by width, or some books may have it length multiplied by breadth. Now length would be this side across, the width would be here. But really it doesn't matter which one you put first, because 5 multiplied by 2 is the same as 2 multiplied by 5. So the area of this shape would be equal to the length, which is 5 cm, multiplied by the width, which is 2 cm. So the area would be 5 times 2 is 10. Cm times cm would give us cm squared. So one thing we notice, the units for area is it's always squared units. Cm squared, m squared, km squared. It's always squared units. So now let's look at the next shape. The next shape is the triangle. So the major parts that we need to find area of a triangle would be the base and the height. So the base is the bottom piece of the triangle, and the height will always be the perpendicular height. It cannot be the slanted height. It has to be the perpendicular height. So let's say we're given a base as 6 meters, and we're given a height as 5 meters. When you're asked to calculate the area of this triangle. So there are two forms of the formula that we use to find area. So it says area is equal to half base multiplied by height, or area can be equal to base multiplied by height, all divided by 2. Now both of these, they are the same thing, and they will produce the same answer. So let's find the area of this triangle. So the area will be equal to half multiplied by the base, which is 6 meters, multiplied by the height, which is 5 meters. So the area would be equal to half times 6 is 3. 3 times 5 would give us 15. And meters times meters would give us meters squared. So the area of this triangle is 15 meters squared. So let's move on to the trapezium. All right, so for the trapezium, the major component that makes a trapezium is that there are two parallel sides. So these two sides here are parallel in the trapezium. So what we need a parallel side, and we need once again the perpendicular height, which would be this part here of the trapezium. So for the trapezium, the area, the formula that we use to find area of a trapezium will be the area is equal to half the sum of the parallel sides multiplied by the height. And the height is always the perpendicular height. So it's half the sum of the parallel sides. And by parallel sides, I said it was these two sides multiplied by the height. So in most books, you will see this formula. Area equal half A plus B H, which means A plus B multiplied by H. And we know A plus B, A and B would be the parallel sides. So let's just say now we were given AB being equal to 8 cm and A being equal to 6 cm and the height being equal to 4 cm. And we were asked to calculate the area of this trapezium. So the area of this trapezium will be half multiplied by A, which is 6 cm, plus B, which is 8 cm, multiplied by the height, which is 4 cm. So the area will be equal to half. Now 6 plus 8 would give us 14 cm, multiplied by the height, which is 4 cm. So the area will be equal to, so half of 14 will give us 7. 7 times 4 would give us 28 cm squared. Cm times cm would give us cm squared. So the area of this trapezium is 28 cm squared. So now let's move on to some composite shapes. How do we find the area of composite shapes? Now in composite shapes or compound shapes, it simply means you have more than one normal shapes put together to form one shape. So in cases like these, when you have the composite shape, in cases like these, what we need to do, we need to split the shape into two shapes that you already know. So we can either, for this shape, we can either split it down like this, or we can even split it like this. And you'll have one shape here and another shape here. And then we just find the area for those two. So let's split it down like this. So this will be shape 1 and this will be shape 2. So we know for shape 1 and shape 2, we see both of them are rectangles. So let's go. So area of shape 1, you know it's a rectangle, so it will be length times width. So we need to find the length. So we know this entire thing is 13. From here to here is 13. And if from here is 8. 13 subtract 8. We know 13 subtract 8 will give us 5. So you know this piece is 5 meters. And we know the width would be from here to here. If we know from there to there is 6. And from here to here would be this 7. So 6 plus 7 would give us 13. So we know the width is 13 meters. So area of shape 1 would be length times width. So the length is 5 meters multiplied by the width, which is 13 meters. And 5 times 13 would give us a value of 65 meters squared. So that is the area of shape 1. Then we find the area of shape 2. So area of shape 2 is a rectangle as well. So it's the length times width. So the length in this case, the length would be from here to here, because this is the shape that we're looking at. So the length is 8 meters multiplied by the width, which is from here to here. So that'll be 6 meters. So 8 times 6 will give us 48 meters squared. And that would be the area of shape 2. And no, of course, we're not done yet. We need to find the area of the composite shape, meaning we must add both of the areas together. So we can say total area will be equal to area of shape 1 plus area of shape 2. So the area of shape 1 would be 65 meters squared plus the area of shape 2 would be 48 meters squared. So 65 plus 48 would give us a value of 113 meters squared. And that would be the area of this compound shape. So we see 4 compound shapes. We must first divide the shape into shapes that we know, and then we just find the area of each individual shape. So we need to pay keen attention to the dimensions of the shape. Make sure the dimensions are in line with the shape that you're finding the area for, and then you just add the areas all together, and that will give you the total area. So the last shape that we want to deal with, we want to find the area of this shaded region. So we see we have a big triangle here, and then we have a small triangle in the middle here. So if we were to find the area of this shaded part, what we can do, we can find the area of this big triangle here. So we know when we find the area of that, we know we basically finding the area for this entire thing here. And we know if we find the area for this piece in the middle here, we basically finding the area for this little piece here. So we can see if we subtract out the area of this piece that is shaded in black, we will remain with the area, the part shaded in the red. So what we need to do, we need to find the area of the outer shape and then find the area of the inner shape, and then we subtract the two. So let's find the area of the bigger triangle. So the area, so we can say area of big triangle. So you know for a triangle, it's half base multiplied by height, or base times height divided by 2. So we know the base of the bigger triangle would be half multiplied by 32 meters multiplied by the height, which is 24 meters. So it's half times 32. So half times 32 is 16. 16 times 24 would give us the area of 384 meters squared. So this would be the area. So now we can find the area of a small triangle, which is the same half base multiplied by height. So it's half multiplied by the base of the smaller triangle will be 20. So it's half multiplied by 20 meters multiplied by the height, which is 16. So it's half multiplied by 20, which is 10, and 10 multiplied by 16 is 160 meters squared. So we have those two areas. Now to find the area of the shaded piece, which would be this piece here, we need to subtract the inner triangle from the outer one. So we can say area of shaded region would be equal to 384 meters squared, subtract 160 meters squared. So when we subtract those two, we will get an area of 224 meters squared. And that would be the area of the shaded region. So we see for the shaded region, we must find the outer piece, then we find the inner piece, and then we subtract out, and that would give you the shaded region. So with that, this has brought me to the end of this video of calculating the area of normal shapes, composite shapes, and for shaded region. Of course, I must leave one for you to practice on your own, so you can take a picture of this and try this one on your own. You're finding the area of this shaded region. So you have a composite shape inside of a square. So I trust that you now have a good understanding of how to find area, and I will see you in the next video.